expert coach and guide. And today we're talking about 4 simple ways to build confidence in your singing. Now, before you say to me, "Oh, Arden, I'm confident. Like, I know I've got talent." I know, I hear you. But what happens to you when you're sitting in that audition room and you're waiting for your turn and you hear the person before you and you're like, "Oh, snap. I cannot compare to that." Or what happens to you when you're scrolling on YouTube or Facebook and you see this, artist or that singer who maybe you know, or maybe it's somebody else who's like doing this similar thing to you, and you start the whole compare and despair game. Okay. These are the things that tend to create weeds in the mind garden that then stop you from acting in the most powerful way on your own behalf to get where you need to go. And also, they're the things that then contract your physical body, your physiology, that affects what happens when you sing, and then you don't end up bringing your potential when you really need to. So today, what we're talking about are 4 simple ways to build rock solid, bulletproof confidence in your singing so that when you actually go out there and you need to deliver, you do because you can. So here's the first one. When you're looking at the ways that you want to up level, especially when we're talking about technical things, whether it's your mix, breath support, high notes, stamina, okay? Pick one concept at a time to focus on and master. Do not try to solve all your problems at once, because what happens is then you get into overwhelm. And when you are in overwhelm, everything starts to feel a lot more difficult. It's harder to see the progress. And then most of the time you quit before the results, before the miracle, because it's too much. Okay, so that is concept number 1. Pick one thing to focus on at a time to master when it comes to your technique. Do not try to solve all your problems at once. So what that might look like is, I really still have confusion around breath support. Okay, so like that's what you're focusing on. You're focusing on your lip trills. You're focusing on your hissing. You're focusing on, if you come to our workshops, you know what that progression is. Focus on that, and then start to think about, resonance and vowels and expanding range and genre and like all those things. Okay. The second thing to build confidence in your singing is a mindset practice that we do all the time in the intensive training program with our singers. And that is to celebrate your wins regularly, to begin a practice of celebrating wins. So in the intensive training program, we start every weekly group mindset call with a round of what I call wins for the week, celebrations for the week. And sometimes you might have a pretty easy win for the week. Hey, I got a call back for that audition. Or, hey, I'm able to do this high note that I wasn't able to do before. Or, hey, I showed up to an audition and I wasn't scared. Like, notice, clock the wins and celebrate them regularly. And here's why this is really important for building confidence in your singing at whatever step of the game you are. I don't care if you're already on Broadway and you're trying to get that lead that's been elusive for you so far, or if you're somebody who is just starting out. This is an essential practice. And here's why it's really, really important. Because we are so used to looking at what's wrong, what isn't here yet, what isn't happening the way we want yet, what we don't have. We're so used to focusing on all of that, especially when we're trying to improve and we're trying to build something. We're very focused on, oh, I can't do this yet. This is a problem. This isn't working yet. This isn't what I want yet. This is what I don't have yet. And we start when all we are focusing on is what's wrong and not working and not here yet, we lose the distinctions of what we are doing that is working, that's moving the needle in small increments. And so then what happens is without that noticing, we aren't aware of what we are doing that is working for us. And so then without that awareness, we don't know what to continue doing. So we stop doing those things. And now we're at a loss for why we're still in this place of what we don't have, what we don't want, because the mind is just focused on that. So it's really important to celebrate your wins, to notice what's working, to log what's working, write it in a journal, to celebrate that. Because once you know what is working, you know what to continue doing so that you continue to get those results and you can expand those results. Now, that's not to say that that you're just like putting your head in the sand and you're not looking at the things that you need to optimize. Okay. We want to look at what we want to optimize, but not at the exclusion of what is working, what we are doing that is moving the needle. Because the only way that you will know what to continue doing is if you are aware of that. Okay. And so when you are celebrating a win for the week, weekly wins. I mean, we do daily wins oftentimes, but absolutely at least once a week. We do it on a Friday morning at the end of the work week. The reason is that you also, when you're doing that, you get to see how you're moving the needle like 1 yard at a time, because sometimes we don't think the little things are wins. Like, we wait to celebrate until it's like the big thing, right? We wait to celebrate until I've won the Grammy, or, I got my first 5-figure paycheck for royalties of my album. Okay. Like that was a big one, right? For me. But point being, if all we're doing is waiting for like the big giant win and celebration, it could be a while before that comes, right? It could be 4 years before you get your first lead role in an equity show, or it could be 2 years before your album is done. And it can feel like we're pedaling in place and we're not really going anywhere if all we're doing is waiting to celebrate the last final thing. And it's really hard to keep your mindset in a place of forward action and inspiration. And, when we're only going to celebrate the thing once it's done, the big thing, right? So it's really important to celebrate these little accomplishments, these little wins, the things that you want to honor about yourself, the things that you are proud of that you're doing along the way. So, hey, I got my lip trills. Somebody might be like, oh my God, I feel so stupid. Like I haven't been able to do lip trills. Right? Great. Now I can do them. But really, I don't have what I really want yet, which is that lead role. So they don't celebrate the lip trills, but then they miss a yard closer than they are to being able to sing in the way that brings them the impact that gets them to their big goal. Okay. So it's like seeing these yards, celebrating each yard. It's so important because then you can see, wow, I might not be at the finish line yet. I might not be in the end zone yet, but wow, I'm like 50% closer than I was 6 months ago. And you can see that. And so now you have the inspiration, you have the will, you have the accountability to keep going because you're seeing what's working, and that builds confidence in what you are doing, which is so, so important. So that's the second thing, which is celebrate wins regularly. Do wins for the week. The third thing is don't go it alone, guys. Do not try to build this alone. You are not the expert. I love you guys, and I'm just going to hardcore you right now, which is if you were the expert in fixing the issues with your voice and your singing career, you'd be where you wanted to go by now. And so there's no blame and shame in that, but you are not the expert. So don't go it alone. Find the best coaches, the best experts, people who have done what you want to do, people who know exactly how to get you from point A to point Z. Find the best and do whatever it takes to work with them. Okay. You need somebody to mirror back to you what is going on in your technique, in your body, in your mindset, to make sure that what you are learning and implementing, you are doing correctly. And also, you guys, most of the time, we are too entrenched in our own habits, in our physical habits that, are just in our technique because we've just had these habits for so long. We're just so entrenched in them that we can't feel them. We don't know what we're doing because we've never done it another way. So we don't know that we're in a habit because it's what we've always done. It's what we're used to. And the same thing with the mindset habits, okay? We're too close to our own stuff. It's really hard to see. You need an expert, you need a mentor, you need a guide to mirror back to you, to be able to show you those habits compassionately, gently kick your ass when you need it, right? And also to make sure that like you're not just walking into walls and potholes because you can't see them. You need an expert who can point out every pothole and every wall so that you actually get where you want to go faster, because you're not tripping over things that you can't see in your technique, in your body, in your performance, in your mindset. Okay. So do not go it alone. Find the best expert, one that resonates with you, whether it's us, whether it's somebody else. I do not care here. My point is find an expert, work with the best, do whatever you need to do to make that happen. Okay. And then the last thing is be accountable to a practice. Okay. I can give you guys the best tools in the world, but if you don't have that accountability within yourself to practice it daily, it's really hard to change and shift a habit and to grow into the career and the sound that you really want. So be accountable to a practice that you can keep. And when I say a practice, I mean your skill set practice for your technique and your mindset practice for your mind-body connection. Okay. So create a practice that works for you and be accountable to it. So if you are someone who has 3 kids at home and you have a day job and you have a spouse and maybe you're taking care of your parents, and now you say, I'm going to have a practice and I'm going to spend 2 hours a day working on my skill set and my mindset. And if I was coaching you, I would say, I love that. And is that going to be reliable for you with the kids and your day job and your parents and your husband? And, most of the time the answer is probably going to be, I don't know. Like, can you keep that up over the long haul? Most of you have like the best intentions when it comes to practicing, and you come out the gate big, but you're creating a practice that doesn't actually work for you, for your lifestyle, for your schedule, for your energy, for your calendar. And so then you don't keep it up, and then you don't get the results that you want. Okay. So repetition, time in the saddle, and conditioning is the most important thing. So create a practice that you can be accountable to, that works in your life and in your schedule. Okay. That's way better than practicing 2 hours a day for like 10 days. And then it's just impossible to keep up. And then you stop and then you never get where you want to go. Right. So if you are only able to do 20 minutes a day, and that's not enough time to do both your mindset practice and your skill set practice, okay, alternate days. Alternate days. Like, fine, you guys just hear me. Your resourcefulness and your creativity in this is what's really important here, okay? Because if you don't find a practice and create it in a way that works for you, then you won't be able to stick to it, and you won't get the results, all right? So this is my invitation to you guys, which is, if the things that I'm talking about today are really resonating with you, if you've been in my tribe for a long time, if you've maybe come to a couple workshops and you're a little shy about getting on a call with me and talking out how we might be able to help you get where you want to go, be able to deliver when it counts, be able to create systems in your technique, in your mindset, in your lifestyle that support everything that you want to create, and you want our help to do that, then don't be shy. You may know about the intensive training program, you may not. If you're thinking it's not right for you, that's okay. Get on a call with me and let's create something that is. If that is the right program for you, or if you have no idea what I'm talking about, but you are a serious singer, you are in this because you are passionate about what you want to do, and you want to create a big life and a big career and big opportunities for your singing, then get on my call calendar. Let's talk about where you are, where you want to go, the gap that's been going on, why this has been happening, and I will lay out our step-by-step of how we get the singers in our intensive training program where they want to go, and we'll see if it's a fit for you. And if it is, that's great. And if it's not, that's okay too. We can part friends. But I don't want you to just sit idle. If you've been circling around our community for a while and you hear me, giving these opportunities to hop on a discovery call with me and you've been a little shy, don't be shy. The best that can happen is that we figure out a way to be able to get you into action and train you to achieve everything that you've been wanting with your singing. And the worst thing that can happen is you just get some information and we part ways, okay? But again, this call is only for singers who are serious about being professionals in their world, or if you're not necessarily wanting to be a full-time professional singer, like you have a career that you love, but you are a serious avocational singer. You want to record, you want to perform, you want to get paid, then get on my call calendar. So for those of you who are watching on Facebook, I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to put it in the chat for you right now so that you can get on my calendar and let's talk. Okay. All right, there we go. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, I have a link for you. Here you go. All right, I'm putting it in the comment chat for YouTube. Here we go. Okay. But the bottom line is this, you guys. Like, what have you got to lose? What have you got to lose, right? Either we figure out a path for you, you understand the step-by-step, and now you're rocking and rolling in our tribe, making waves in all kinds of ways that you weren't before, or you get some great information and you go off with it and do with it what you will. All right, you guys, that has been our training for today. I hope that you've gotten a couple nuggets that you can use to bring a little bit more confidence back into your world, into your singing when it comes to what you're up to. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.